Have you ever felt like your own emotions are just a runaway train? They rise up way too fast, they speak way too loud, and then you're the one left cleaning up the mess. Well, today we're going to break down a really powerful look at that exact struggle, using a prayer for self-control as our map.
It all kicks off with this incredibly honest, raw admission. And let's be real, this isn't about being weak. It's about being self-aware enough to say, hey, something's not right here. This single sentence really sets the stage for this entire journey from chaos to, hopefully, a little more control.
So the very first step in this whole process is just admitting there's a problem. The prayer frames this as a genuine cry for help, a recognition that your emotions can sometimes feel like they have a mind of their own. So what does that lack of control actually feel like? Well, according to the source, it's this state of being totally unguarded, emotionally exposed. It's that sinking feeling of vulnerability, like you have zero defenses against your own internal knee-jerk reactions.
Now, here's where we get this incredible metaphor to help us visualize it. This verse from Proverbs just paints such a vivid picture, doesn't it? I mean, think about it. A city with broken down walls is completely defenseless. It's open to attack, it's chaotic. And that is a brilliant way to describe the internal danger of not having that self-control.
And living in that broken-walled city, well, it comes at a huge cost. It's not just about having a few bad moments here and there. It's about the constant grinding exhaustion and regret that follows you around. The next part of the prayer really dives into this inner battlefield.
Just look at this list. You can feel the exhaustion, can't you? It's a vicious cycle. You overreact, then you spend hours overthinking what you did, then you carry around this heavy guilt, so you apologize, again, and then you can't stop replaying the moment in your head. And the result? You just feel completely and totally stuck. And this slide just lays out that internal conflict perfectly. On one hand, what you want is so simple, right? To be steady, to be patient, to feel like you're actually growing as a person. But the reality, the chaos you feel, is being overwhelmed, snapping at people you love, and feeling like for every one step forward, you take 10 steps back.
So, if that's the problem, what on earth is the solution? What's interesting is the prayer doesn't suggest, just trying harder or bottling it all up. Instead, it proposes something kind of radical, a conscious, total act of surrender. This is the turning point.
And this isn't a passive, I give up kind of surrender. No, it's an active three-part process. First, you have to acknowledge everything you're feeling, the good, the bad, and the really ugly. Second, you have to actually name them, give a label to what's going on inside. And third, you consciously hand them over, admitting you just can't carry them on your own anymore.
And the prayer gets super specific about what this looks like. The first thing it names is anger, even the kind that seems to pop up out of nowhere and makes absolutely no sense. It's about letting go of all that simmering frustration. Next up is anxiety. The prayer really zeroes in on this being all those what-ifs, the thoughts that spin around in your head and keep you awake at 3 a.m. It's that constant hum of worry that is so hard to shut off.
And finally, fear. By naming and surrendering fear, the prayer is talking about releasing this incredibly heavy burden. Fear so often dictates how we react to things, and it keeps us paralyzed. This is about deciding not to let fear have the final word.
But surrendering is really only half the battle. Once you've kind of cleared out all that emotional clutter by letting go, the next phase is all about actively rebuilding from the inside out. It's about asking for help to construct something new and way stronger in its place. So this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? After you've surrendered all that chaos, how do you stop it from all just rushing right back in? How does real, lasting change actually get started?
Well, the prayer gives us a pretty practical blueprint. Look how actionable these are. Learning to just pause, choosing to breathe instead of explode, and that classic shift from just reacting to thoughtfully responding. But the prayer argues that all of this is only truly possible if you address that final point on the list.
And that is healing the source. This is the absolute game changer. The prayer's logic is that real self-control isn't just about managing your outbursts. It's about asking for healing for the much deeper wounds, those past hurts, the old disappointments that are the actual triggers for your reactions in the first place.
And all of this leads us to the final part of the journey. After you've acknowledged the problem, surrendered control, and asked for renewal, all that's left is to stand on a completely new foundation. It's a declaration of trust.
And this is the core declaration right here. It's a massive shift in identity. It's no longer I am my emotions, but rather I am anchored in something so much greater than my emotions. It's about taking back authority and saying that your feelings, no matter how intense they are, do not get the final vote.
So this new life is framed as a series of conscious choices. You can see it on the chart. It's about actively choosing peace when everything around you is chaotic, choosing patience when you feel under pressure, and choosing faith when you're tempted by fear. These aren't one-time fixes, they're daily decisions.
And this final thought really brings it all home. The big takeaway from the prayer is that true, lasting change has nothing to do with your external circumstances getting better. It is a completely internal process. The world around you might still be messy, but your response to it can be fundamentally different.
So I'll just leave you with this question, which really gets to the heart of this whole thing. In a world that is constantly pushing our buttons, what would it actually look like for you to be anchored in something deeper and more stable than the constant ebb and flow of your fleeting emotions?